Forgive me, I'm just getting over a cold, so my voice is obviously quite raspy. Um, I was somewhat frustrated with some of the tops that I've turned in the past. They're pretty small with a little thin spindle. You can try and spin them with your fingers, and I can never seem to get them to work very well. I came across this article in the Wood Turning Journal by a wood turner named Dave Schmidt. And it's a three-piece top that works by pulling a string. And they work really well, and I became intrigued by them and had a lot of fun turning them. You can make them in different shapes, as you can see. And one of the keys is that this top spindle turns. So that's how you hold on to the top with the string. And then you make a separate spindle, which gives it a pivot to spin on. And then the rest of this is a solid body. And you can make it in different shapes. I found that one of the keys is to make it rather short, stubby, rather than sort of long and spindly. This shape doesn't seem to work very well. The lower center of gravity seems to work much better. I was making some of these on some hardwood maple that I have. It's really dense wood, and that dense wood really causes me to allow the top to spin for a really good long time. Just for fun, I glued together a couple of fine 2x4s and turned this on the end grain to see if that would work. And it works okay. It's not bad. So, I'll show you how this top works. You hold on to the spindle, pull the string, then you can lift it up and put it back down again. And they piece the top part. Well, I have a spindle that's glued in place. Okay, so it's a little head that you turn that this spins on. So I'll just spin one more here. Where this is the one with the pine. Of course. Okay. The denser wood, like you said, works better. Yeah. And lift it up, put it back down. And as you can see, they really spin for a pretty long time, so it's a lot of fun to make these for your grandkids, friends, sell them, whatever you want to do with them. Say again? No, no, it's just sanded. Smooth. I haven't. I know a couple years ago, Neil had a project with his math students that he was using the density of the wood and turning tops, and was demonstrating mathematically the density of wood along the tops. Yeah. So we had a math project. So to start off here, this is a piece of maple that's about 3/4 square, and I'm going to turn the spindle portion first. I'm sorry. This is the outer spindle. Now I'm going to go ahead. I just want to make this big enough for my fingers. So that's about how I measure it. Just see how big my fingers need to be. Now I'm going to make like a little cove in it. And just round off the edge. Now I just want to make a little divot in the center so I can start my drill hole. And I drill it just a little bit past what the depth is so I can make a through hole. This is just a tape. Yeah, it's just a piece of tape for a depth gauge. No. And you want to start it off slowly to get the drill to self center. I'm going to sand it just a little bit, just smooth it down. This is 80 grit. And this just skipping the grits, just going to 320. And now just to add a little bit of color to it. A little bit of purple. And finally some red, whatever colors you want to use. And I've tried different ways of trying to seal it so the color doesn't uh, come off on your fingers. And I found that using some carnauba wax seems to work quite well. So you just turn up the speed and touch the carnauba wax to it. That puts a nice coating over it. Helps to preserve the color. And you can just sort of burnish it in with your finger. Yeah. Okay. I'm just burnishing it with my finger essentially. Now I'm going to go ahead and part that off. There we are. And I'll just smooth off the outside edge where the drill bit came through. So now I have a through hole. So this is the spindle. Now I have to make the pin. No, no, make my own for wood turners and that sort of fun of making these with the Well, I drilled a quarter-inch hole through the spindle, so I want to turn this down to just a little bit less than a quarter of an inch. Now, for the length of the spindle, I want to make sure that I have at least a half an inch beyond, because I need to put a quarter of an inch into the body of the top. So that looks like it's probably about right. Now to get this down to a quarter of an inch, I just sharpened a quarter of an inch wrench, and I use that as my gauge to make this quarter of an inch. Yes, I'm sure you could. Well, I could also go to the store and buy a top, but I'm good for. So there's my wrench putting a quarter of an inch diameter dowel. Now, one of the things I found is that at this top portion, you don't want it to taper down because otherwise that taper might wedge in the hole. So you want to square off where the spindle meets the top of the, for the body of the spindle meets the top of the pin. I'm sorry. So where the body of the pin meets the top of the pin, you want it to be squared off. And then I'll check the length, and that looks like I've got enough length. And now I've made the pin exactly a quarter of an inch, and I've got a hole exactly of a quarter of an inch. So that's still going to be too tight. So you want to be a little bit generous on sanding this to make it a little bit less than a quarter of an inch so that it will have enough room to spin. Sorry? I haven't. I thought about that, but it seems to work very nicely with just the sanding without any wax. I was afraid that if it was too smooth and too fitted, the wax on the inside with friction might even cause it to fly. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I haven't needed to. And I'll use the 320 grit just to get it smooth. Again, I want to leave this spindle long enough so that I have enough room to glue it into the body. So I'll just check it. It looks like I got plenty of length. So I'll go ahead and mark that off now. And now we'll make sure that that works and the spindle spins. So that's loose enough. I'll just put that back here. Well, it's pretty. You just have to hand sand it. You didn't make it loose enough. So maybe put it in chalk chuck or just work on the hand sand until you get it so that it's loose. Now this is a hard maple. I have a 2-inch thick maple, and I glued two pieces together, and it's about 4 inches in diameter, 4 inches high. And then I just put it in the bandsaw and cut off the corners. So this will be the main body. Yeah, it's called Woodworking Fundamentals, the AAW. November 2021. Yes. We've got to give credit to Payne Smith who wrote that article. I'll go ahead and make this completely round. Oh, this drive is spinning inside the spindle. And now I've got to go ahead and turn this down to make a tendon so that I can chuck it. And I'll make a dovetail on here now. Now what I need to do is to make the part that the string goes around this thick base. So I'll turn down to that and I'll make a little a groove, cove, so that the string will hold on. And that only needs to be about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Now the drive caused an indentation in here, so I'll have to get rid of that. Okay. And now we'll go ahead and start partially shaping the body. Right. Now I'll go ahead and sand it, and that'll add a little bit of color to it. Again, this is 80 grit. It's just a toy, so I'm not trying to make a high gloss finish. And now I'll go ahead and drill for the center post. And I only want that hole to be about 1/4 of an inch, so I have a little mark on the drill bit. I'll just put some tape here so it's easier to see. So that's about 1/4 of an inch depth. Did I tighten it? It was tight when I put it in there. Would you like me to tighten it again, John? Let's tighten. And again, just let it find its own center. Okay. And the 320 grit. Good. And I'll put some more color on it. These are prism colors. And a little bit purple. Let's make those. Pick my hole. That'll go there with enough clearance. So that should work out okay. And one of the things I noticed when I was trying to do it by hand, if I finish the top, stand it upright, and try to glue this in place, sometimes I don't quite have it centered and it wobbles. So I found if I leave it on the lathe, put some glue on here now, and then bring up the tailstock to hold the pin in. It works out pretty well before I finish and part this off. But before I do that, a little more wax. I'll just burnish it with my finger. No color came off of my finger. Whoops. Okay. Now this you have to be careful of because you don't want to get any glue on the spindle near where the collet turns. And this is medium thick. Just a little bit around the bottom portion. Stick that in and make sure the collet doesn't touch it. All right. And I'll hold that in place. Thank you. And I'll zap it. Okay. And that should set just a couple of seconds. Make sure this still turns. That's great. Okay. Good. And now we'll just finish this off. Now I'll use my real fine point spindle gouge. And let me check and see if I need any more sanding at this point. Yeah. All righty. And I'll just smooth off that tip. You don't really want a sharp point. A little bit of a rounded point looks better. That's good. No, I found around 10 wraps, 11 wraps works pretty good. There's the top. Yes, sure. It's Wood Turning Fundamentals, November 2021. Fundamentals. Alrighty, any questions? Thank you. It's a fun project.